How does someone go about the process of developing self-confidence?
Yeah. So, I'll back up one step and say if you've got doubt in your hand, if you're afraid
Yep.
to put up your hand, if you're afraid to take risk, if you have negative self-talk, I can't do this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good enough, right? Those are signs that you're lacking confidence. You're afraid to put
Mm-hmm.
up your hand. Oh man, I knew the answer. I wish I'd said so, right? Then you've got to then say, here's a few things that you can work on. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, you want to stop that negative talk,
Right.
right? If you look at professional athletes, they'll clap their hands, they'll snap their fingers, they'll take a deep breath in. Those are called centering exercises. Get rid of the negative thought. Boom, boom, snap, snap. That's just a quick physical trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Then replace it immediately with a positive affirmation,
Mm-hmm.
right? You've heard mine if you've watched my TED Talk. I am the captain of my ship and the master of my fate. I got this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody outworks me. I can learn anything. Whatever those positive, quick statements are, you're not hearing me say, I'm going to be a millionaire, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, actions and thoughts that I have direct control and influence over.
Mm-hmm.
3 affirmations a day. And here, Brian, I don't know if I say it in my talk, but here's the science behind it. 3 affirmations a day from Harvard. If you're in the creative problem solving, 17% more productive in
Mm-hmm.
productivity of collateral material. If you're in complex problems and diagnostics, problem solving, logistics, analytics,
Sure.
23 to 27% faster to solve a complex problem. And for all your folks there in the revenue generation, your salespeople, 3 affirmations a day or 30 to 33% increase in overall sales.
Mm.
So confident people who use affirmations, there's a net return on that investment.
100%. And there's a reason why we spend so much time on this side of it as a business coaching company. I mean, at the end of the day, we have business fundamentals that are we teach people to write personal notes and make calls to your database and exceed their expectations and provide them little items of value and things like that. The system is pretty straightforward. It's the problem is that it's people who have to do it.
Yeah.
And in the sales world, you get very exposed. You get very exposed for who you are and what you're not.
Yeah.
And you have I had someone the other day, very competent professional, lovely lady. I've entrusted her with referrals personally. And she had a family member buy a house without her. And it was just devastating to her, just devastating. And it goes from, well, that's unfortunate that somebody didn't buy a house with me, to, I need to do something else. I'm obviously not good at this. If the people who know me don't trust me, and that spiral goes down. And so this work is so crucial in our space.
Yeah.
Because you get hammered and you get down on one knee, and then here comes all the gravy train of all the negative thoughts that comes behind it. It's wild stuff.
And that's where you stop it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's an important lesson too, is confident people interpret feedback differently, right? And part of that is how are you going to respond to failure, right? Instead of like, man, I can't believe they just missed out on all the advice I was going to give them, right? Like you've got to interpret that feedback in a way that sets you up for success.
Right.
And equally as important is you also have to ask yourself, what am I here to learn? Because confident people have to be willing to accept failure as part of the process, and then ask themselves, what are they here to learn? Because we want to move through it so quickly because we're we're consumed with shame that we don't reflect on the teachable moments.
Right. I mean, my phrase is there's no such thing as failure. It's all feedback.
Yeah.
It's just feedback. Like I did a presentation and I bombed. It's feedback. It's like, okay, I tried this. It's just feedback. Zig Ziglar used to say failure is an event. It's not a person. We have a tendency to attach the personage to the failure itself. One technique you've talked about is that you wrote a letter to yourself.
Yes.
I'd love you to share that with the folks. I think it's a brilliant concept and something worth hanging on to.
Yeah. I think there's times when we're going to be in a new position. We've got a new promotion. We've got a new opportunity. And oh my gosh, you're going to feel imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? Do they know? Do I belong here? I don't know. And you want to, when I became a director, I wanted to go back to my old job where I was the king of my fiefdom. That's when I wrote a letter to myself, my personal brag sheet about all the things that I'm great at, exceptional at, all my accomplishments. Mine starts something like this. Dear Ivan, congratulations on choosing the right woman to marry. Boy, did you luck out. You raised 3 great kids and you launched them. You set a goal of getting your PhD before the age of 40. You won a national championship. You competed at the World Cup. Like all of these things that are my personal brag sheet. When I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, when I'm feeling like I don't know if I can do this, out comes that letter to myself. And I'm old enough that my letter was on paper and I would just read it. Nowadays it's on the phone or the iPad.
Yeah.
And you need that. And here's the science behind it. Again, when you read that letter to yourself, it releases dopamine in your system, the happiness juice, and elevates that and builds your grit and your resilience.
Thanks for watching. If you want more tips on how to think, feel, and do better, check out these videos too. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave us a like if you enjoyed the content.